So last night was one of the most terrifying nights of our lives. Last I left you, we were going into Metro Phoenix, and we did, and the first night we were there, we had no idea where we were going to sleep. We basically just wandered around town looking for places to sleep, and nothing looked safe, so we ended up just basically walking around all night, and then we sat in a park with our blanket for a few hours till the sun went out. Basically got no sleep whatsoever. And then we decided, well, we'll try to see if we can get into a shelter. So that would be better than what we're going through right now. So we went down to this shelter, supposed emergency shelter that was a hotel. It was owned by Community Bridges. And we talked to the people to see how the heck we could get into the shelter. And they told them that we have to wait and Community Bridges will come and, evaluate us and try to get us into an emergency shelter. So we thought, well, we're going to get into like a little hotel room or something like that. So we sat out in front of this facility waiting for Community Bridges, and it ended up being like 2 days we sat there, and we had to sleep on the sidewalk. They refused to let us use a bathroom in the place, so we had no bathroom from like 9 o'clock until our storage unit, which was next door, open. We could use the bathroom at the storage unit from like 9:30 to like, I don't remember, like 8, 7 or something. But then after that time, there was no facilities, none. And so, I started getting really overwhelmed and started complaining about not having facilities. And there's actually nowhere for homeless people to use the restroom. It's absolutely inhumane. None of the restaurants would let us use the bathroom. Even when we paid, they're like, the bathroom's out of order. And it was just a trend, like we could tell all over town. None of the restaurants will let homeless people use the restroom. And it's just, there's nowhere to go. So that's horrible. If you never had to hold your stuff until it just comes out on its own, you don't know what torture is. That's horrible. So anyway, we got impatient waiting for CBI to come. And I was feeling really kind of dizzy and not well, and I'm still feeling really dizzy and not well and achy, and I felt my whole body hurts and my stomach hurts, and I just am feeling well. So we called emergency, and they came to evaluate us, and then they called CBI crisis to come get us when they were there within about 30 minutes. So we get in the back of this truck, and it looks like, no kidding, like Vladimir's coffin back there. I mean, it was all dark. There were no windows. There was one little tiny screen between these two areas that you go to basically lay down because there's nowhere to sit in there. There's like a big box that looks like a coffin with straps on it. It was the most terrifying thing ever. Even my dogs were terrified. And we had to be separated in there, which was really spooky. You couldn't see where you were going. It was like a horror movie where they blindfold you and then take you to some warehouse. So yeah, we couldn't see where we were going. We ended up on 27th and Van Buren in the most horrible part of town, in this unmarked building that we walked in, and there was a lobby area, and there was a bunch of men sitting around. Like, only way I can describe it is like they were lobotomized. They weren't there. We tried to talk to people. They wouldn't answer us. It was like they weren't there. And we thought at first, well, maybe it was a mental institution they took us to, but it wasn't. It wasn't. They told us that we were going to be evaluated by doctors and psychiatrists, and then they would decide what type of facility we would go to, either inpatient or outpatient. And when we were sitting there, everyone was wearing green scrubs, except for the ones that hadn't been inputted into the system, but everyone else was sitting around in green scrubs. And then they said we couldn't keep our dogs, which, so before we got taken back to get our green scrubs, we asked them a bunch of questions about the place. Like, what is this? What kind of a place is this? And they really wouldn't give us a straightforward answer other than it's like, well, we're going to evaluate you. It's like, for what? And then a woman walked by with a bag that was marked for a human organ. And we've heard rumors of places where they take homeless people with no family and very few friends or whatever, where nobody's going to miss them, to these chop shops. And that's where I basically think we ended up, was a chop shop. And we're like, do we have to stay here? And they're like, no, you don't have to stay here. So we booked it out of there. And we were just dumped off in the worst neighborhood in town. So we finally, you know, we were walking around and we sat down in front of this seedy looking motel, and you know, Ben called one of his friends and pleaded with him, please help us get a hotel, please help us get a motel or whatever. And so we did, but oh my God, and all night long, both of us were having nightmares of the whole experience. I mean, this was absolutely terrifying. I don't know what the building was that we were laying in front of, but it was all gated off, and it was, there's some stuff going on, some really shady stuff going on in Phoenix. They don't help the homeless. They make money off the homeless. And one of the ways they probably make money off the homeless is their body parts, if that's not scary enough. I am begging and pleading to anyone who can to please help with any donation you can to us to try to stay in this hotel, because we cannot be out on the streets. I am injured. I am sick. I am almost 58 years old. I'm going to be 58 years old this month. I cannot stay on those streets any longer without access to a bathroom or anything. I will freaking die, or will get killed, or something's gonna happen. So I'm asking you, please. I left a message on here with the information for donations. I'm begging you, please, anything, $1, 50 cents, $5, $10, whatever you can spare, to keep us from going out on those streets again. It is terrifying out there, and there ain't nobody to help you. They're gonna profit off you, and this is the truth. And so I hope that you never end up in this situation, but if you do, don't go with CBI. That is a terrifying organization, if that was even really them, or if we were scammed. I don't know. But anyway, stay away from community bridges. So in here, this is the inside of the paddy wagon from CBI. The best we could videotape it. You can see there's just a little screen there. You can't even see what's going on or where you're going. It was terrifying. Benjamin took this video on the back of it. He snuck the video. Here we are outside the CBI facility.
Make you wear green scrubs and nothing else.
People.
This is scary as shit.
That's a bullshit.
This shit's scary. That's like they put you here to die.